I believe we're live. I'm just going to double check just to make sure. I am also recording.
Michael Bay explosions.
Michael Bay Explosions. Explosions by Michael Bay. We are live. Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History. What happened today in history?
Historical calendar.
And
Your mom goes to college.
that's not one of the sources.
Darn it!
That's
It
it's the website onthisday.com. You're close,
Yeah.
but unfortunately no cigar. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show, check the box below. I am once again A.O. Xander, and I am joined by...
I was a bridesmaid, never a bride. Who is Alice?
And...
Senor Lunk.
Senor Lunk.
And it is 8:30 in the morning, so pardon our tiredness, but we're going to try to start getting the show done in the morning, as I've been promising, and slowly getting done. But anyway, on with this show.
It's 8:30 in the morning for you, not me, okay?
Well,
get it right. It's 11 for me, okay?
Okay, you know what? You just voided every excuse I was trying to give you. Like, I was trying to help you, and you shot yourself in the foot. Like, why do you do this to yourself, Alice? Why do you do this to yourself?
Yeah, it's my day off. I have a right to sleep in.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, today is Sun's Day, also known as Sunday, February 13th, 2022. Who wants to start us off today?
I will.
Alright.
Oh, you do then.
In 962, Emperor Otto I and Pope John the 13th co-signed the Diploma Auditorium, recognizing John as ruler of Rome.
Yeah, Diploma Adonianum,
I think.
Automatopoeia.
Alonanum.
That whatever kind of diploma that was. But
well, in 1322, the central tower of Ely Cathedral fell on the night of the 12th and 13th. So overnight, a tower to a cathedral fell.
Mm-hmm. Back in 1322, So
back in 1322.
Moving on up to 1462, the Treaty of Westminster was finalized between Edward IV of England and the Scottish Lord of the Isles. Which, I'm going to look that up real quick. The Treaty of Westminster. It sounds like something someone would scream freedom about.
Freedom!
Actually, it was the peace treaty that ended the Third Anglo-Dutch War. Signed by the Dutch Republic and the Kingdom of England, the treaty provided for the return of the colony of New Netherland to England, and renewed the Treaty of Breda of 1667. Interesting.
Ooh. Well, so what happened in 1503?
In 1503, during the Challenge of Barletta, a tournament commenced between 13 Italian and 13 French knights in Barletta.
Yeah, like one of these jousting competitions, maybe, and like other things. Like.
Yep. Smelled like a joust.
Yeah.
Oh. Moving up to 1542, Catherine Howard, the fifth wife of Henry VIII of England, was executed for adultery.
Dang. I don't think she was adulterous. I think
she was accused of it.
Yeah, just to give Mr. Henry an excuse to get rid of his wife without divorcing her. So.
Yeah, well, he was very infamous for murdering his wives.
Yeah, he executed what, 2 of them, right?
He executed many of them. I think 8. I don't know. God, there was a few. Because most of the time it was because they wouldn't provide him sons.
Oh.
They did a movie about him.
Well, It
or not
says
the
here.
movie, but they had the Tudors. The Tudors was a show about Henry VIII and him executing his fucking wives.
Well, it wasn't just his wives he was executing. Apparently, during his 36 years of rule over England, he executed up to 57,000 people. What the hell? Many of whom were either members of the clergy or ordinary citizens and nobles who had taken part in uprisings and protests up and down the country. 57,000 people? God.
Yeah, he was not. He was not a very merciful king.
No. No, he wasn't.
I guess in a form maybe he was merciful if there was a quick death, but I mean, most of those times during that time, didn't they tortured?
Well, we don't
And
know
then-
if they were a quick death. It just says executed. They could have all been drawn and quartered for all we know.
Well,
You know?
we know his wives they were beheaded.
Yeah.
So, but you know,
Well, let's jump on up to 1633. Galileo Galilei arrived in Rome for his trial before the Inquisition.
the
Huh?
Inquisition.
The
What a
Inquisition.
show! The Inquisition. Nobody remembers the Mel Brooks song, The Inquisition.
No,
History of the
but
world.
I do know never to expect the Spanish Inquisition, even though that they actually sent out forewarnings.
No, you gotta watch History of the World and just go on YouTube. Like after the show, we'll go on YouTube and I'll show you the Inquisition song from Mel Brooks from History of the World.
Okay.
Fucking great. They even have those choreographed swimmers and stuff.
Every time I think about the history of the world, I don't think about that. I think about the 10 commandments.
Oh, the 15. No, Ted. I always think at the end in the history of the
He
world.
drops it. Boy,
Jews in space and Hitler on ice.
Hitler on ice.
Yeah, it's
okay,
it's just
okay.
preview for another movie, like
That's
for
better
another
than better than 1633, 1642.
Ooh.
The Clergy Act became law, excluding bishops of the Church of England from serving in the House of Lords.
Jesus, more bishops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this was preventing people of that particular, practice of actually ascertaining power. So, it was a nerf essentially.
Hmm.
He got nerfed.
Yeah, it's nerf for nothing.
Well, what happened? You nerf for nothing. What happened in 1660, my friend?
Well, in 1660, with the accession of young Charles XI of Sweden, his regents began negotiations to end the Second Northern War.
The Second Northern War, huh?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the Second Northern War?
What?
So was this between Sweden? Well, what is it? Sweden and Norway, I believe, they're fairly young countries technically.
I mean, I guess. Like, the Second Northern War, which was also known as the First or Little Northern War, was fought between Sweden. Now, wait a minute. How could it be the second and the first? That's weird. It was fought between Sweden and its adversaries, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the Tsardom of Russia, Brandenburg, Prussia, the Habsburg monarchy, and Denmark, Norway. Good lord.
Jesus Christ, so Sweden against everybody.
What is
Yeah.
with Europe and fighting everybody? Like, it's just like...
Dude, man, dude, go Sweden. I'm partly Swedish, but I'm mostly Norwegian. So at the same time, I'm like cheering on the Swedes. Like, I don't know. They get really mad for being compared to one another, and they're completely two different cultures in a way. But at the same time, for a long time, they were one. But like from different sides of the mountain range, like cultures were different. It's a really interesting history of Norway and Sweden and even Finland. Like, it's really interesting history, but that's for another day.
I remember in South Park they nuked Finland.
Yeah, well,
Oh
They
no,
nuked
and
a
not
lot
to
of places.
Finland!
not the Finland. Roar. Dude, you know what I saw yesterday at work? I saw a guy wearing Eric Cartman with the police outfit on. But like instead, like at first when I saw it, like the first thing that popped in my head wasn't respect my authority. It was I started just going, I am the dog,
Oh
the
my
big
God.
bad dog,
Oh my
the
god.
hallway murder.
Well, what happened in 1689, Miss...
69. Yeah, well, William and Mary were proclaimed co-rulers of England.
Oh, well, look at that.
Co-rulers, we co-rule. What happened in 1692, Sohan?
In 1692, in what would be known as the massacre in Glencoe. Nearly 8,000 McDonald's, or 800 McDonald's
No,
at Glencoe,
80, just
Scotland.
80. Just 80.
Well, okay, 80 McDonald's at Glencoe, Scotland were murdered early in the morning for not promptly pledging allegiance to the new King William of Orange. Of course,
80,000?
Ron McDonald for 8,000. Well, I mean 800. What 8?
80.
80.
80.
80.
80.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's a lot of Big Macs, man.
Man, dude, you're really
Of course
muffing
you're not-
hard today, aren't you?
Of course, they're not gonna pledge to
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
William.
No, they're in the metric system over there.
Ron
Else
McDonald.
with T's.
Well, going from the McDonald's massacre to 1726, the Parliament of Negrete between Mapuche and Spanish authorities in Chile brought an end to the Mapuche uprising that started in 1723.
And up through 26.
Well, yeah,
Like it says.
it ended it. Well, like it
17, 23, 25. I get what you're saying there. Blah, blah, blah. You know I'm a Ron Burgundy. I read the script as it is. Alright, so from 1726, we're going to 1755. The Treaty of... oh yeah, I have to look... I have to bend over here to look.
Giggity.
Shut up. Okay, yeah. So, Gianti. Gianti was signed by VOC Pakubuano the Third and Prince Mangkubomi.
Bless you.
Yeah, Kubumi. Sounds like I just pooped. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying that. I'm sure this... I don't mean... You know what I mean. Anyways, so Kubuni dividing the Javanese kingdom of Mataram into two. Sananat and Surakarta, and Sultanate of Yogyakarta. I can't read it from this angle.
It was Sunanate of Surakarta and Sultanate of Yogyakarta.
Yogyakarta.
Yogsaran.
Yeah, well, no, it's like the way I'm angled from how my laptop's sitting. Like, I have that weird kind of glare angle where like the print is kind of illuminated a little bit in a weird way where I can't read it. And I'm like, is that a Y? Is that a J?
Both at the same
Is that a
time.
G? Yeah, I'm just like.
With how these words are spelled, it might as well be.
Well, no, here I've got a simple problem solver here. I just gotta.
While you're
Push my
doing that,
laptop
we'll move on up to 1849. A delegation by Metropolitan Bishop Andrei Saguna handed out to the Emperor Franz Joseph I of Austria the general petition of Romanian leaders in Transylvania, Banat, and Bukovina, which demanded that the Roman nation be recognized.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I can see the screen better. So
Good.
there we go.
Also in 1851, the siege of Gaeta ended in the capitulation of the defending fortress, effectively bringing an end to the kingdom of the two Sicilies during Italian unification.
Yeah, the word is
Nice.
capitulation, which essentially is like surrender. Like, I capitulate. Like, well, I can actually look up the definition right now. Actually,
Can you extrapolate on your capitulation?
if capitulate means cease to resist an opponent or an unwelcome demand or surrender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Moving on up to 1867, work began on the covering of the Seine, burying Brussels' primary river and creating the modern central boulevards. They destroyed a river. What the hell? Yeah.
Fuck Brussels.
Stupid.
Sorry, Brussels, but fuck you for getting rid of a river.
You know, you might have good sprouts, but you know you don't know how to handle nature well.
Yeah, I love Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts, dude. I learned that like Brussels sprouts and broccoli and like 5 other different vegetables come from the same plant, evolutionarily.
Yeah, they're from the same family.
No, not just family, from the same actually plant. Like this is after like centuries of selective breeding. You know how we've made bananas and watermelons and all that stuff and carrots and corn. Well, like,
Well, plantains have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, if not
yeah.
millions.
No, but what I'm
It's
talking
just like
about is
different forms of plantain.
what I'm talking about specifically. Like 1,000 years ago, there was this one plant, and throughout all these generations of selected breeding, it stemmed to these other plants. Like, so there's
Yeah.
a root source for the same thing for, like, broccoli and Brussels sprouts and this and that. Like, it's interesting.
Cauliflower is technically, well, I've heard cauliflower is part of the cabbage family, and I was like, what? No, but I could be wrong. I'm not a what do you call those people? Who want to study plants?
Well, technically, bananas are
Sadness.
berries.
A botanist.
Yeah.
No, not botanist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
botany.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's actually an interesting thing. I would actually like to do a little, like, botany for, like an elective class if I went back to college. I would probably pick up botany for a fun thing, just because I have a green thumb.
Your mom
Anyways,
goes to college.
so, yeah, well, we're gonna go to 1880 here. Thomas Edison observed thermonic emission.
Yeah, you're trying to steal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thermonic emission, anarchically known as the Edison effect. Oh, fuck off, Edison. Is the flow of charged particles called thermions from the charged metal or a charged metal oxide surface caused by thermal vibrational energy overcoming the electrostatic forces holding electrons to the surface.
Yeah.
Okay, no, yeah.
Okay, in 1913, the 13th Dalai Lama proclaimed Tibetan independence following a period of domination by Manchu Qing dynasty and initiated a period of almost 4 decades of independence. That's awesome. Almost
Yeah.
40 years.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, what Tibet was kind of like recognized for a little while, and then was it?
Mao Zedong showed up. Like, hello.
Then
then
China.
someone
Yeah.
didn't Mao showed up, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's when the Dalai Lama was basically from henceforth the Dalai Lama is not allowed to go back to Tibet essentially, otherwise he'll be arrested.
That's so stupid.
Well, it's like, actually, my dad took me to the movie theaters. It was in the Mall America movie theater, AMC, and we watched 7 Years in Tibet, which
Dang.
was like, I was really young, so I didn't understand what was going on, but I was like, oh, Brad Pitt.
Hmm.
I knew who he was, but I didn't pay attention. I was so confused, but like, I watched the movie later on. It's actually a pretty decent movie.
There's a movie that's out. It's about like the torture of the Pyongyang or whatever it's called practitioners in China.
Falun Gong.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Falun Gong.
Falun Gong. Yeah.
Has anyone ever seen The Last Emperor?
I have
it was
not.
basically the last. It's a depiction of the last Chinese emperor, but like he ends up getting overthrown and shit and put in prison for years because the Japanese were influencing him or some shit.
Actually, like, I may be wrong, but I actually earlier today I saw I think it was from Salmonella, like, not the disease. There's a guy called Sam Onella on YouTube. And he does a lot of cool videos and everything, and he did a brief explanation about the history of China and everything. And apparently, the last emperor of China was 6 years old, and
yep, he came into power.
Yeah,
and he was never allowed to leave the grounds. He never left the property until he was kicked out.
Dang.
As emperor, like, and he ended up going into like some different area of China trying to, like, I think unify Mongolia or something. I can't remember exactly. It's been such a long time since I watched the movie or researched it. And it's a really interesting history. But yeah, like, he finally walks out. His first original wife, I think, she ends up leaving him and just in the middle of the night and some other shit because he was being propped up by Japan. And this is like leading up to like World War II time period, I think, and stuff.
Well, it was 1912 was the last emperor. I think we actually even talked about him, like, the past couple of days.
Yeah, a World War One one was it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember. It's been such a long time. I could have sworn it was World War II because the guy he lived up to being like I think he passed away in like the 70s or 80s. The last Chinese emperor.
I'm not entirely sure. We might have to do a video about that in the future when we ever
Yeah,
start
yeah,
getting things more
definitely.
streamlined and we can actually do like individual videos pertaining to one subject matter or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
But
Well,
until
anyways,
then,
let's go up to 1914 here. We
yeah.
have in the New York City, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers was established to protect copyrighted musical compositions of its members.
Good.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I,
also in 1920, the Negro National League was formed. Wow.
thank you for taking that actually, because that contains a word I'm not allowed to say apparently. So,
Yep, we're not allowed to say it
yeah,
because of our skin color.
yeah.
Wow.
Apparently that's not racist, but okay.
The Negro Leagues were created.
Yeah.
Totally racist, I think, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah.
judge not those by the color of skin, but the content of their character.
Yeah. Jumping up about 11 years, in 1931, the British Raj completed its transfer from Calcutta to New Delhi.
New Delhi.
New Delhi.
There's a New Delhi down the street. It's delicious.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Their
That was pretty
salami.
rude.
Their salami isn't expired.
Dude. I
Your
accidentally
salami's
bought
expired.
expired ham
Hey,
once
now.
from a deli that was so upset. It was Black Forest ham too. I was like, oh, and they sold me expired ham. I was like, dude, you guys need to check your dates on your product.
That's gross.
It was a
Okay,
whole actually. Like, yeah, I went
That's
back and
disgusting.
I got my money back. So.
Good. What happened in 35 here?
In
So
1930. Oh, you can continue.
No, as Andrew, actually, I think it's your turn. 1935.
A jury in Flemington, New Jersey found Bruno Hauptmann guilty of the 1932 kidnapping and murder of the Lindbergh baby, the son of Nazi sympathizer Charles Lindbergh. Which, like, yeah, he was a Nazi sympathizer. Like, he actually went to Germany and he started hating Jewish people, you know? Like, he was
And
seriously...
he even got an Iron Cross.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people think that he's like this big hero. Like, he's not. Just because he flew a plane, whoop-de-fucking-do. He hated Jews. Who cares about anything else about him?
In the Minneapolis International Airport, they have a replica up in the terminal in the ticket counter at the Humphrey terminal. Or no, the Lindbergh, I'm sorry. The Lindbergh terminal of his plane that he flew.
So,
I remember that.
So they're
See it all
tearing
the-
down statues of Theodore Roosevelt, but they're leaving this motherfucker up? What the hell?
I don't know if it's still there.
It better
yeah,
not
like,
be.
I
you
was
know?
in the airport back in August, but like where my gate was, like where my ticket area was on the opposite end of the terminal because there's like
Yeah.
you have your Southwest Airlines, then you have like Northwest. Well, when Northwest is around, I'm sorry, Delta now, and etc. But it was on the far end, like.
Wait. Hold on a second. Are you telling me that Delta is a Delta variant of Northwest?
Yes, Delta bought Northwest Airlines out. My mom used to work for Northwest Airlines for like.
I'm
over
making a
20
COVID joke.
I know. I totally got it.
Uh-oh.
But I was like.
Uh-oh. Have you been tested? You got it. Are you sure? Can you not smell anything anymore? Like...
I can smell these really awesome smelling candles that I'm burning right now. They smell really good.
Oh my God! I can't smell what the rock's cooking.
Oh no!
I can't smell muffins parted and burnt my nostril.
That's disgusting. Let's move on up to 1945. The siege of Budapest concluded with the unconditional surrender of German and Hungarian forces to the Red Army.
Hell fucking yeah. Go Soviet.
Wait.
Don't you say go Stalin.
No, fuck Stalin. Stalin was a murderous bastard. He was a genocidal bastard. He killed more people than Hitler.
Yep. So did Mao
But
Zedong.
nobody-
Yeah.
Dude, well,
Yeah,
nobody.
Mao Zedong like, hold my dog.
Yeah.
Not my dog.
What else happened in 45, Alice?
We have the Royal Air Force bombers were dispatched to Dresden, Germany, to attack the city with massive aerial bombardment.
Bombing.
Good old bombs.
Yep.
Bombs.
Speaking of bombings and everything, moving on up to 1951, about 6 years later, during the Korean War, the Battle of Shipyong-ni, which represented the high water mark of the Chinese incursion into South Korea, commenced. And I believe that's when China officially entered the conflict on North Korea's side. And I remember watching something like some guy, they were positioned there, and it was just like a sea of Chinese going over the hills screaming, and it was a sight. Like, oh my god.
Also, during, I think, the Korean War, and I was like, what this? Well, no, that was the Vietnam and the Korean. I think was the start of when China started mass genociding people.
Well, I mean, in 1900, the Empress of China ordered the genocide of all Westerners. So, like, China's been genociding people since before they were the CCP. It's not a political thing; it's a cultural thing. It's their culture, you know, like.
Not all of them believe that, though.
Not all of them, but, like, see, here's the thing, like, you know, like, you talk about things like China and all that stuff, like, why don't the people stand up? Oh, they're scared. All of them? Like, like we stood up, the French stood up, like, throughout all of history, there have been countless revolutions and, you know, people standing up, so.
What happened to them? The Chinese have, like, Tiananmen Square. Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it didn't happen.
They have, but it
didn't happen.
Look at how when we've stood up and see how many times.
Yo.
Sorry.
Do you think Ping's gonna kill us?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Dude, we're all gonna. Dude, life is terminal. We all gonna die eventually.
Come on over, Winnie the Pooh. I'll give you a good paddling right across your rear end. Let's move on up to 1954. Frank Selvey became the only NCAA Division I basketball player to ever score 100 points in a single game.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What's NCAA?
Also, NCAA, the college, it's college basketball.
Oh.
Ooh, actually, can I take 1955 here because I've actually seen some of these.
Yeah, go ahead.
On exhibit at the Minnesota Science
Museum. Nice,
Museum.
dude. That's cool.
And so I got to see them. But in 1955, Israel obtained 4 of the 7 Dead Sea Scrolls. Why
do they have them? You know?
Well, it has a lot to pertain to. Some say that there's possibly in the Dead Sea Scrolls, I think something about. I think Jesus might have written. But I could be totally wrong. That might be a different set of scrolls that they found.
The only thing that comes to mind with Israel having the Dead Sea Scrolls is one of these days they're going to burn them to get rid of all evidence that they're not who they say they are. So,
you know, they're still people.
They are, but so was Hitler. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was Stalin. So am I.
And Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
And Vlad the Impaler, and let's not forget Lenin and Stalin. And Genghis Khan. There's always going to be a few bad apples from every sect, okay? Yeah. Doesn't mean they all are bad.
I'm not saying they're all bad, because that's a sweeping generalization, and that's racist. Like.
Oh, but
yeah,
that is a sweeping generalization.
Thanks to Vlad, we have Dracula.
Yeah.
Vlad, yeah, I do. That's
cool.
And if it wasn't for a volcano explosion that happened back in like 17 something, like you wouldn't have had The Year Without a Astronomer, where Mary Shelley decided to write the book Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, we'll put that in our pipe for 5 years later, in the 1960, with the success of a nuclear test codenamed Jerboise Blue. France became the 4th country to possess nuclear weapons. Oh no! The Chinois, they're at it again. Now they have nukes. Good lord.
Too bad they surrendered them.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember that bombing thing about the music when all of a sudden you start seeing France come on board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then remember that one time? Like.
Dude, that was
God.
Insane.
Like when the audio distorted, like.
Yeah, your computer farted.
For that video of all the nukes that have gone off and throughout history that we know of.
Yeah, we talk about that video like it seems every 3rd or 4th episode.
Yeah, because we always bring up nukes in this damn show. In the show.
Yeah, well, it's not our fault that history is just showing that, like, oh, another country's obtained nukes. Like, who's
Yep.
next? The next gonna have, like, oh, India is, like, the seventh. It'd be
And
like,
then
Yeah.
Mexico, no, senor, we got
Oh,
nukes.
oh God, Mexico. The last
we
thing.
got nukes, we got nukes too. Welcome on board, buddy.
We got nukes, essay.
Hey, Sohan, do you want to take the next 1960?
Yeah, I'll say 1960. In 1960, black college students staged the first of the Nashville sit-ins at 3 lunch counters in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
I'm guessing because, segregation.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
60. That was during the civil rights movement.
dude, I actually just watched the other day. I was like, I haven't watched in a long time. I actually watched I watched the 45-minute speech of Martin Luther King Jr.'s I've been to the mountaintop.
Oh.
I didn't watch the I
Nice.
Have a Dream one. I listened to that one, and that one it was so moving. Like, just the way
Uh,
he spoke. Like, I
yeah.
could see how Obama kind of tried to mimic it a little bit,
No.
Yeah.
but not with.
Obama will never do anything any close to MLK.
Well, no, what I'm saying, the way the speech, like, how Martin had a way of speaking, like, he had those pauses and stuff. Obama did the same thing, but he did it in his own way, and I can see why.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I
it was
noticed
just,
Obama methodologically, addresses everybody in a line. It's like blah 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 blah. He's getting everybody involved personally. So
did you see the pictures of him talking to these architects and construction workers? They're all wearing masks, but he's not out in Hawaii.
building his
Land.
multi-billion-dollar mansion or something crazy.
Yeah, and he has that seawall that's actually receded and destroyed the beach. But this one
Yeah.
guy's like, "Trust me, the damage has already been done, and it's
It's
not gonna
more
get
than
any
that. Actually, it's more than that. That seawall is illegal. It was supposed to be knocked down, but then the contractor knew a guy to overturn the law or something for them specifically. They're breaking all sorts of things over there. What
No,
is
the
that?
previous owner of that land that he sold to the Bahamas, he found a loophole to keep the seawall.
Yeah.
Now, not only that, but he figured out a way where they're going to expand that seawall.
Is that a cigarette?
No, it's a thing of sage.
Oh, because you're holding it like a cigarette. I'm like, are you smoking a fat doink? What the hell is that thing? Don't.
It's sage.
Ah.
Dude, I'm not going to inhale sage. Are you kidding me? I'm using it as like an incense.
Moving on up to 1961, an allegedly 500,000-year-old rock was discovered near Olentia, California, which appeared to anachronistically encase a spark plug. Well, first off, I gotta know what that word actually means. I think I know what it means, but and by the way, I posted a link to the nuke test in the underbar for anybody interested. Come on, Google. Let's go. Why are you not working? Why are you lagging out?
Because he didn't fix this damn door.
Let's see here.
What? So a 500,000-year-old rock had a spark plug inside it?
Yes. Now, anachronistically, the representation of someone as existing or something as happening in other than chronological, proper, or historical order. So, because it has a spark plug in it, Olentia. So, I looked this up earlier.
It's a fucking Autobot.
Olentia rock, 500,000. Yeah, here it is. It's a rock that was formed around a spark plug. It looks like. And then they
500,000-year-old rock.
It's a 500,000-year-old rock, and it's within it is a spark plug. What appears to be a spark plug.
It is a dead Autobot.
Huh.
Dude, you know what it is? Somebody's fucking time travel.
Yep. Who wants 67 here?
I think
I'll take
67. Oh, no.
You go ahead. You go ahead, buddy.
Okay. In 1967, U.S. researchers discovered the Madrid Codices by Leonardo da Vinci in the National Library of Spain.
Nice.
The codices. Huh?
The Madrid Codices. Which I'm gonna look those up real quick.
Da Vinci is
Probably
added.
Probably some awesome invention that he probably was thinking making.
The Madrid Codices 1 through 2 are two manuscripts by Leonardo da Vinci, which were
Oh,
discovered in the Biblioteca Nacional de España in Madrid in 1965 by Dr. Julius Peckus, language professor at the University of Massachusetts. Uh, the Madrid Codices, the first was finished during 1490 and 1499, and the second from 1503 to 1505. For further information on this, I'm going to post a link in the underbar just as soon as Google decides to stop lagging like a fucking stupid. Come on.
Well, I think we might have had another solar flare. That could be possibly it.
Getting really tired of these solar flares.
Well, the sun's in its most active period right now. What do you fucking want?
Okay.
What do you
I'm
want?
about to
You
say,
want-
well,
knock
tell
on the-
Krillin to stop.
Like, "Hey, can you please stop?
Well, I was going to say Tien needs to knock it off. Like, isn't he the inventor of that damn move anyway?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Tien, the guy with the
Right.
3 eyes. Solar flare.
Alright. Well, anyways, in 1975, a fire broke out in One World Trade Center, the North Tower in New York City. God, that building just never caught a break.
No.
Dude, the way just that. Oh man.
Yeah.
That building has been a target since day one, I tell you.
Well, I mean, you're a tall building, representing the pinnacle of capitalism. You're bound to get people in there to try to knock it down.
Yeah. Capitalism, yeah. They tried a few times.
Yeah, well,
A couple. And,
Yeah.
and then with a little extra push with some right. Sorry, had a cough. Finally went down.
well, you know what
And-
they say, jet
and
beams
you know
can't melt steel fuel, so,
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, regardless of how it went down, people's lives were lost, and that's
yeah.
fucking tragedy in
It's
itself.
2000, like, the...
Over 2,000 people. That's fucked up, dude.
That's-
Like,
But speaking of people dying, in 1978, a bomb exploded in a refuse truck outside the Hilton Hotel in Sydney, Australia, murdering 2 refuse collectors and a policeman. Trash people! Like, they got
Jesus.
killed. The poor trash man blew up. That's not fun.
dude, loss of life is never fun. And,
No.
and especially out of violence like that, that's the saddest part of it all.
Why was there a bomb on the trash truck?
Well, what happened in 79, Sohan?
In 1979, a tense windstorm struck western Washington and sunk a half-a-mile-long sector of the Hood Canal Bridge.
Dang.
Wow.
Knocked a bridge down.
Dude, I remember there was a huge snowstorm that, like, deflated the dome to the Metrodome in Minneapolis.
Oh
And there's
God,
actually
I guess.
videos of when the snow, like, collapsed it, and you see all the snow just go right down to the center of the frickin' football field / baseball field.
Dang.
Because you do know that the Metrodome was used both as a place for the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Twins played. So our baseball and football team shared a stadium for a long time.
Well, that makes sense. I don't know why they don't still. I mean, why do we need all these stadiums everywhere? They're
Well,
ungodly
also-
expensive. They're huge,
Check
like,
this shit out too. The loudest recorded audio for a live sporting event was also recorded in that very stadium. Also, we had Ozfest there one year, and oh my god, that was phenomenal.
nice. I saw Ozzy
Yeah,
Osbourne
but-
live at BlizzCon once.
I saw Ozfest. I went to Ozfest in '99 and got to see 99 or 90. I can't remember. Whichever year had Pantera. Let's see that.
You know who else I've once seen at BlizzCon?
What?
Tenacious D.
I never seen Tenacious D, but I did see Death Clock or Metalocalypse.
Oh, you lucky.
Was small.
But
the premiere open.
I was gonna make a joke about about the trash truck bomb. Like you don't put bombs in a trash truck, you put it in a septic truck. Because that's what you do. You put bombs in the toilets. But speaking of that, in 1981, a series of sewer explosions destroyed over 2 miles of streets in Louisville, Kentucky. Jesus, talk about blowing it up. Come on, man. You know, like lay off the Taco Bell guys in Kentucky. Jeez, you're supposed to be eating fried chicken, guys. Come on, you know.
No, it's not even. That's not even from Kentucky. Kentucky
I
Fried Chicken.
I know it's from like Georgia or something, right? Or like Illinois.
No, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. Yeah. What happened in 1990?
1990, we have during German reunification, an agreement was reached on a two-stage plan to reunite Germany.
Nice.
Yeah.
And in 1991, two laser-guided smart bombs destroyed the Amayya shelter in Baghdad. Allied forces said the bunker was being used as a military communications outpost, but over 400 Iraqi civilians were murdered. Oh shit!
Yep.
Oh my god.
We bombed civilians.
For intel. See, this is why, you make sure your intel's correct and accurate.
You know, honestly, I'm not entirely sure that at least 30% of these cases are bad intel. I think they're just bad people that are using the excuse of bad intel to get away with like just killing other people because they can.
Yeah. Well, we killed over 1 million Iraqis when we went back in the 2000s. People don't talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, and not to
That's
mention,
just-
we took over all the poppy fields in Afghanistan.
And burnt them. Well, we either burned them or we
No,
took them
no,
over,
we
yeah.
didn't. No, we didn't burn them. The CIA took it over, and that's like because the CIA works hand in hand with all of the drug cartels throughout the world,
my God.
especially the Hispanic ones and everything. Because
Yeah, dude, the fact
there's been countless cases of like CIA planes being to the brim with bricks of cocaine and all this other shit. That they.
Well, what about that? What about the Red Cross money with the big fucking pallets of cash that we sent in cash of U.S. dollars to Iran?
What
During
about the
Obama.
9/11 relief fund? What happened to that?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, Biden's. Oh, did you hear Biden is going to split between Afghani refugees and the 9/11 victims?
Oh my God, that's so stupid. That's so
Yep.
stupid. But let's get back on the topic here. In 1996, the Nepalese Civil War was initiated in the Kingdom of Nepal by the Communist Party of Nepal, which was the Maoist Century. Mao Zedong.
However, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, Mao Zedong at it again. Even after his death, his evil is still hurting
Yeah.
the world.
Oh, but I just wanted to reiterate on that whole thing about the 9/11 fund and stuff. I saw it in a passing of an article I was scrolling, so I don't, and I didn't read who the source was from, so don't quote me on it, but that's something I read in passing, I think yesterday.
Who wants
Or
to
the day
shine
before.
bright like a diamond?
I'll shine bright like a diamond.
Well, then read 2004.
Well, we didn't do 2001.
You read 2001.
You can do 2004 then. An earthquake measuring 7.6 on the Richter magnitude scale hit El Salvador, causing the deaths of at least 944 people.
I think I kind of remember that. I was entering high school. Well, actually, no, I was already in. No.
I was already
I
in
wasn't
high
in
school.
high
I was
school
a
at this time. I was going
I
to
was
go
a
into high school after that summer. Because I remember 9/11 happened, like, during my second week of high school. It's like, hey, welcome to high school. Here's a national tragedy. Like, wonderful.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school when that happened. So, or no, yeah, I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
Technically, no, freshman. It was weird because school. So 2000 to 2001, yeah, 2000 to 2001 was.
Well, work it back. What year did you graduate?
Yeah. Well, my brother was class of '99. I'm technically supposed to be class of 2003, so.
So that means that
would've made
2000
me-
to 2001 you were a sophomore.
Yeah, I was a sophomore. Yeah,
Well,
I was a sophomore.
in 2004, I was a sophomore this time that year, in which the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics announced the discovery of the universe's largest known diamond, white dwarf star BPM 37093, and that it had been given the name Lucy by astronomers after Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by the Beatles. So, Yeah, there's a diamond, big diamond, just floating out there.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Fucking
Mr. Sohead,
Messiah.
Yo,
you want to tell us about 2007 here?
and well, in 2007, Taiwan opposed opposition leader Ma Jin-young resigns as the chairman of the Kuomintang Party after having been indicted on charges of embezzlement during his tenure as the mayor of Taipei. Despite all of this, he also announced his candidacy for the 2008 presidential election. Wow.
I know, right? My
If he was
reaction
American,
exactly.
Yo, if he was American, he would have got the fucking job in a heartbeat.
Dude, like, this reminds me of that time the mayor of DC, like, got reelected after he was, like, found guilty of, like, cocaine possession or
Yeah,
something.
very, very.
Yeah. What?
De Blasio.
Like,
I'm just kidding.
like, what's that song? If you're ever caught smoking crack, McDonald's would never want you back, but you can always run for mayor of DC. Whatever that song is.
Mayor of DC.
Moving on up to 2008, Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd made a historic apology to the Indigenous Australians and the stolen generations.
Dude, didn't we talk about this, like...
I don't recall specifically.
I could have sworn we talked about this in December. That was brought up.
Well, we might have.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the show, but, like, yeah, because we weren't doing this back in December.
Well, no, yeah. Well, never mind. Maybe the beginning of it. I can't remember.
January?
No, actually, we did do a couple in December, and then we decided to take a break until after the New Year.
That's
remember?
right. That's right. We were doing the old format.
Yeah.
Back when I was still editing.
Something about, like, the recognition of that, or was it? No, that I'm sorry. That was the Japanese apologizing to what they did
The
to
Koreans,
the Koreans.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, all of the Korean females being forced into prostitution and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's what I'm mixing it up with.
Why don't you tell us about 2011, Miss Alice?
2011, we've got, for the first time in over a century, aka 100 years, the Umatilla, a Native American tribe, were able to hunt and harvest a bison just outside of Yellowstone National Park, restoring a centuries-old tradition guaranteed by a treaty signed in 1855.
Well, it
So
took...
they're now finally allowed to, like, go back and hunt bison, but I think there's limits to how much you can hunt.
Well, yeah, because it's still an endangered animal, but, like, you know...
Well, no, the buffalo, we brought buffalo back, and bison are coming back too. Like, we still, you can get bison. You know what I would like to see? I would like to see stores stock venison.
That'd be
I hate that
interesting.
whole hunt. Dude, I love venison. That shit's so good.
Well, you do know that once that happens, then we'll start having, like, you know, like venison farms, like, you know, like what they have for cows and everything else was just for deers. And then everybody will be like, oh, look what they're doing to the poor deer, the evil meat eaters, they're killing Rudolph. Ah, no. Like,
well, dude, those are reindeer. They're
it's still
technically, like,
venison.
a form of caribou or something.
Well, you know, it doesn't matter what is reindeer and what's not. They're still going to be like, oh, it's...
See, my point, though, is I'm not saying, like, we should have milling farms for it, but, like...
But you know that's going to happen, right?
Well, no, what I was going to say is, like, you'd only have venison is on a seasonal basis. Basically, it's whatever, like, if hunters, like, get too much, I think, like, you know, you bring it to, like, the butcher shop, and because, like, butchers will, they'll skin the deer and lay the meat out for you. And maybe, like, if up to the hunter's discretion if they want to have the butcher sell some of it, or if they want, or basically what I was going to say is, like, just, like, privately small-owned butcher shops, like, have hunters go out and hunt and gather them, but there's no farming for it. You do it the way that it's always been done, but it's more on a scale that, like, butcher shops hire these guns to bring venison in during the hunting season.
Well, Alice, you do know that if supermarkets, if there's a cultural push to start, you know, stocking venison, this is America. There's no such thing as moderation in this country. Like, they will rain venison from the sky. So
not supermarkets, but butcher shops. Just strictly, like, butcher shops.
And how is that going to be enforced? Are you going to make a law saying that only butcher shops can sell venison? Like, that infringes on the rights of other places.
I will.
Like, you do know that, like, once it becomes a thing, everybody's gonna make it a thing. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm not arguing against your wishes, I'm just telling you what's gonna happen. Like,
Well, I know, the reality of things. It wouldn't be feasible. I get it.
yeah. I mean, most of our holidays revolves around overeating. You know, the one of Jim Gaffigan's jokes, like, well, normally I don't eat a burger, a brat, and a steak, but it is the 4th of July, and I'm gonna need the energy if I'm gonna start blowing stuff up. Like,
Yeah, it is 4th of July.
yeah. Moving on up to
But they don't
2017.
Go ahead.
Kim Jong-nam, brother of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, was assassinated at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Oh, yep, this
What?
guy. Well, first off, Kim Jong-un, was it Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il who murdered his brother? Like, in a
It was,
pool?
yeah, Kim Jong Il.
Il, okay. So, the father's murdering the brother, the son is murdering his brother and his uncle. Like this family is just psychotic, dude.
Yeah. But somehow the sister's still roaming around.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. And she's being simped on.
Yeah, well, that's probably why she's still around, because Kim Jong Un knows if he ever lays one bad finger on her, an army of weebs, yeah,
Dude.
a flotilla of weebs will raise from the ocean and take him out. Miss Alice, why don't you tell us what happened in 2021, this time last year?
Oh, Donald Trump was acquitted of his second impeachment trial. Oh.
Yeah.
I watched both of them, and I was like, well, I was at work, and we had like we had one TV on True TV watching Impractical Jokers, the other one had the impeachment trial on, and it was a fucking joke.
Well, if I ever want to watch bullshit, I'll go down to the local manure factory and just stare.
Well,
So,
I watched it on C-SPAN, so I mean, I was like, yeah, C-SPAN.
by the way, your video is frozen, Alice. But, Mr. Lunk, why don't you close us out here with the last 2021?
Me?
Mr.
Or
Lunk.
Sohan? Yeah, Mr. Lunk,
Yeah.
introduce.
In 2021, a winter storm caused blackouts and killed at least 82 people in Texas and northern Mexico.
Man, I had no idea the death toll was that high, but I remember that storm. Like,
Dude, yeah, that happened just last year, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was laughing my ass off, but, like, when I heard about the deaths, that's when I stopped laughing.
Yeah.
But I was laughing my ass off about, like,
Texas getting snow and shutting down. Like,
well,
oh
no,
no.
the power, well, yeah, Texas getting snow is basically what I was laughing my ass off about, because I have a couple friends that live out there, and I'm just like, you moved down there to escape the snow, look what happened.
I think we missed 2012. Or did we?
We did. European Space Agency, aka ESA, conducted the first launch of the European Vega rocket from Europe's spaceport in Kourou, French Guiana.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did miss 2012. You told me 2017, so I was like, all right, you must have done 2012 then. I was kind of packing something. So
Now, before we
anyway,
get into person deaths, any articles here tickle your fancy, so to speak?
well, there are a few that do. But Sohan, why don't you start off with what tickled your fancy?
When the black college students did a sit-in.
Oh,
Yeah, that one's good. Yeah. I was gonna go. I gotta go back here. Remember the year. 1542. Catherine Howard, King Henry VIII's wife, executed. That one stuck out to me, as well as the Texas winter storm, obviously, because you know me, I'm a weather nut.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Texas Winter Storm Massacre.
In 2001 also piqued my interest too.
A massacre. The weather came down from the heavens and just started stabbing people left
Yep,
and right.
massacre, women came down from we have a massacre, a beheading, a winter storm, and a acquittal of impeachment today in history.
There's a lot of good ones here. I'm gonna have to say the ones that stick out to me is like the largest known diamond in the universe, which is a white dwarf. You know.
It's a star that's made out of diamond.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's like a white dwarf is like it's super dense, super mass. And it's essentially just carbon. So it's basically just a giant diamond. You know, that's like the size of the Earth, or something like that.
But super hot too, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because of its gravitational pull and the amount of material in there, it's constantly constricting, and that creates heat, so it creates light and everything. So bless you. But
All right. Well, that was a cough. I wasn't a sneeze, but I'm
oh,
about to sneeze. So
well, bless you
I'm
from the
not.
past. Um, But yeah, no, not
Don't
just that, but like
mind.
the Taiwan guy, who got caught for embezzling and then still announced his presidency. It's like, are you out of your mind? Like, do you really think
You
you
should
have a
just
shot?
have like for this title. You should just like have like embezzlement, beheading, impeachment, acquittal, snow in Texas, all hell breaking loose,
Uh, how about an acquittal, a beheading, a massacre, and a big ass diamond?
and a big ass diamond
Yeah.
with no with a sprinkle of snow.
Now wait a minute, diamond and snow. That's starting to sound like cocaine right there.
Exactly. Got to have a play on words here, baby.
Let's get into bursts here. We're starting out in the year 1440. We have Hartmann Schedel, a German physician. 1457, Mary of Burgundy, sovereign Duchess Regent of Burgundy, wife of Maximilian I, Holy Roman Emperor. 1719, George Bridges Rodney, the first Baron Rodney, English admiral and politician. 1768, Edouard Adolphe Casimir Joseph Mortier, French general and politician, the 15th Prime Minister of France. 18
Mortier. Because there's an E in it, not an A.
Well, that's how it's pronounced, Mortier.
Yeah,
it's
you're right. It's the
French.
fucking Chiquoise.
Yeah, like whenever you speak French, you have to pronounce words how I'm waving this handkerchief like Mortier, I'm a French bastard. 1815, Rufus Wilmot Griswold, a U.S. anthologist, editor, poet, and critic. 1849, Lord Randolph Churchill, English lawyer and politician, Chancellor of the Exequatur,
Exequar.
which what is
Exequer.
Exequer?
Exequer.
Ex-
Exequar. Exequer.
I have no idea, but I'm waiting for Google to stop lagging like a waffle. But what is this? Oh, it's the civil service in the United Kingdom. Is the accounting process of central government and the government's current account in the consolidated fund. It can be found used in various financial documents, including the latest department and agency annual accounts. So it has something to do with finances and economy. So he was in charge of that. But Lord Randolph Churchill, yep, his children, Winston Churchill was one of his sons. So he is directly related to it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was kind of leading towards, like Churchill, huh?
Yeah. 1880, we have Dmitry Gusti, Romanian sociologist, ethnologist, historian, and philosopher. Alice, why don't you take a couple, and Sohan too?
Yeah, I'll take 1884 to 1923. Why not that? Okay.
Right.
So we have Alfred in 1884. We have Alfred Carlton Gilbert. He was a U.S. pole vaulter and businessman who founded the A.C. Gilbert Company. In 1903, we have Georgy Berev. He was a Georgian-Russian engineer who founded the Berev Aircraft Company. Or Berev. Berev? Yeah. And then we have, in 1913, Khalid of Saudi Arabia.
Another one.
Khalid.
DJ Khalid.
Khalid of Saudi Arabia. 1923, we have Chuck Yeager, U.S. General and politic, right?
Pilot.
It was,
it was supposed to be pilot.
No,
that was a horrible misspelling.
It says polite. It says polite. First, U.S. General and polite. He was the first test pilot to break the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Politely. And then, 1990, 1944. I gotta do this one. Happy birthday, fucking Jerry Springer.
Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
He was a television host, actor, politician, 56th mayor of Cincinnati.
I had no idea he was into that.
Did you know that? Did you
Yep.
know that Kane?
He had a corruption charge. No. He had some type of controversy when he was in office.
What,
Oh,
did he have a broken family in his office with him or something?
Dude. Either way, dude, did you know that, Sohan, you know that Kane is, the mayor of, I think, Nashville?
Yeah, Knox County.
Or, yeah, Knox County. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, he's the mayor.
Dang.
Fucking Kane. Undertaker's so-called brother.
And he's a huge libertarian.
Yeah, okay, well, you can take 1949, buddy, Mr. Sohan.
Okay. In 1949, we have Peter Kern.
Oh,
Austrian actor, director, producer, and screenwriter.
he sounds familiar.
Let me look him up here.
I've
Peter
heard that
Kern.
name before.
Peter Kern.
I would look it up on my phone, but I'm using my phone right now, so.
Oh, wait a minute. This can't be the same guy. It says here that he's the CEO of Expedia. Let's see here. 1949. Oh, here we go. The actor. Ludwig, Requiem for a Virgin King, Tonight or Never, Adele Spitzer, The Wrong Move, Joan of Arc of Mongolia? What? That's interesting.
Dude, so maybe, okay, so maybe Peter Kern I've just heard in, like, a business, like, article from, like, Expedia or something. Maybe that's Peter Kern I was thinking.
Yeah, because Peter M. Kern is the Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Expedia Group. Which,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I've probably just read it in some type of news article where his name came up, and that's where I'm like, huh.
Then in 1956, actually, Sohan, take a couple more. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
The last of them.
In 1956, we have Peter Hook, English singer, songwriter, bass player, multi-instrumentalist, and record producer. Ooh.
Yeah.
What was Peter Hook well known for?
What?
Did you look it up? Peter Hook.
Peter Hook?
Yeah. What bass, like what band did he play bass in that he was most well known for?
Let's see here. Peter Hook is an English musician, best known as the bassist and co-founder of the rock bands Joy Division and New Order.
Ooh.
That's why I remember him.
The goth kids must be happy today.
Joy Division, man. Happy birthday, Peter Hook. No, like, and not to mention, you know, I have a thing for bass players. It's because of my dad. My dad's a bass player, and I've just learned to appreciate that instrument more than anything aside from, you know, percussion. But
You must be a big fan of Tom Araya. Because he's a bass player of Slayer.
yeah, I know. I don't mind him. Like, I think he's a very good bass player. But like, I'm like my one of my favorite bass players is still gonna be like Peter Steele, which is from Typo Negative, and Geddy Lee.
I'm about to say, really?
Geddy
Over-
Lee. And also oh, what the fuck? Why am I having it?
Well, while you're figuring that out, we have a couple more birthdays today. In 1961, we have C. Evan Key, Canadian singer, songwriter, drummer, keyboard player, and producer. And his actual name is Kevin William Crompton, known professionally as Stephen Key. It's a weird way to spell your name, lowercase c, capital E, you know. Then in 1979, we have Rachel Reeves, an English economist and politician, Secretary of State for Work and Pensions. That sounds a little shady right there. I want to look that up real quick.
Shadow Secretary.
Shadow Secretary of State for Work and Pensions. Well, here we go. Shadow Secretary of State for Work and Pensions is an office within British politics held by a member of Her Majesty's loyal opposition. Oh, so he's an opponent of the Queen. Okay. That's interesting.
It's an office. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well then. Well, anyways, the bass player I was thinking of that I also have like really love to hear is Les Claypool from Primus. And Cliff Burton was a really good, like he's a notable bass player who died in that tour bus accident for Metallica. But
Cliff Burton.
You mean
yeah,
Metallica?
Metallica. Yep, Metallica.
I remember that one time you're talking. We were doing an article when they played in Antarctica, and you're like, Metallica played in freaking Antarctica. Hell yeah, brother! Step into a Slim Jim.
Yep, that's right. I did do that.
Yeah.
I'm a people who watch this show. You're gonna have to understand that I am like. Sometimes I get a little excited and I become a like little interrupting cow, and then I become excited. Moo.
Well, speaking of excitement, or maybe you shouldn't be excited about this, but let's get into deaths here.
Oh yeah, well you know how I do like to report on deaths for some reason. Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah.
As I say.
Well, they certainly won't be with this.
You know what?
Pardon.
Xander, since you got to start deaths out, we're gonna do the same thing again. I'll take the middle, and Sohan, if you want to take the tail end, or if you want to take the middle, I'll take the tail end.
Well, what we can do is we can canter, like what we do with the regular articles.
Oh shit, there's not that many deaths.
I know.
Okay, well yeah, let's just do one at a time. So, Xander, start us off with deaths. No, actually, I should start off. It's only right?
Yeah.
106 AD, Emperor He of Han, Han Hedi, of the Chinese Eastern Han Dynasty. He died at 27 years old.
Dang. 1542.
Well, yeah, obviously.
What?
Obviously, you know this one was coming.
Oh, 1542, Catherine Howard, English wife of Henry VIII of England, executed via head chop off.
Yep. There's not a way to keep ahead in life.
Yeah. Keep ahead.
Also, in 1787, Roger Joseph Boskowitz, Croatian physicist, astronomer, mathematician, and philosopher.
Nice. I was gonna make a joke about keeping your neck out for your husband, but
Yeah, that's the way to keep your neck out.
It's called stick your neck out for him.
Yeah. Saving face, so to speak.
In 1958, Christabel Pankhurst, English activist who co-founded the Women's Social and Political Union. She died today.
1968, Yoshisuke Aikawa, entrepreneur, businessman, and politician who founded Nissan Motor Company.
Damn.
Yes.
Nissan.
All you drifters and tuners out there.
Yep. Hey,
Glunk, your turn.
Sohan, why don't you take 67?
In 1967, we have Abelardo L. Rodriguez, substitute president of Mexico.
Substitute? Like a substitute teacher?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess if the president has to call in sick,
Here, I'll close this one out. Xander, take 2009, and I'll take the obvious last one.
Then we have Edward Upward. Hopefully he went upward. English author and educator.
Oh. And then, obviously, because two of them popped up in our history today in 2017, Kim Jong-nam, North Korean politician, died today.
Brother of Kim Jong-un, and assassinated at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport.
Kuala Lumpur.
I think it was killed with sarin. I think it was killed with VX gas.
Anyway, that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links you may be interested in. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day. The estimated time, hopefully, is probably going to be around between 8 to 10 in the morning Pacific, but we're still figuring out the details. But anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am always a bridesmaid, never a bride who is Alice.
And I am Luke.
And you are you. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until next time, you'll see us later. Toodles. Let's go, Brandon.
Yes.
Ilan Omar.